Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today we've got a match between Shinee and Stork here on Circuit Breakers. Bottom left-hand corner is the brown Protoss player. It is Stork. And top right-hand corner is the teal Terran player. It is Shinee. I know it says Monkey King, or Money King. Monkey King would be funnier. Money King, though, but it is Shinee. Now, Shinee is a 26-year-old Korean player who used to play Terran professionally, currently plays in the amateur leagues like so many other people. When you read their Liquipedia biographies, that's the story behind who they are. But, okay, now this guy has 2 results listed, period. 2 accomplishments listed in his entire biography here. 1, he won SSL. SSL champion, 4th Sonic TV BJ Star League 2011. Was Shinee. 2, he took first place in the 2018 Hangzhou StarCraft Carnival, beating Savior 3-0 in the final and winning $30,000. Now, you might say, but Savior got banned for match fixing, Falcon. Yes, indeed, but the 2018 Hangzhou StarCraft Carnival was funded and put on by a very wealthy Chinese businessman. And he didn't care the fact that Savior had been banned from official StarCraft stuff. He wanted him in there. He was a big name, so he made it to the final. He got beat by Shinee, and that kind of got my attention. I was like, all right, this dude really knows what he's doing. Getting an SSL champion in 2011 and then beating Savior 3-0 in 2018 is a weird career, man. There's nothing else here, and I don't know if it's just the Team Liquid entry is incomplete on this dude, but he's definitely one of the best Terran players on planet Earth currently. If you can, again, if you can beat Savior 3-0, you deserve to be on that list, right? In a best of 5, just bam, 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 1, 2, 3. So his TVZ is obviously very good. I can't speak very much to his TVP, but obviously Stork is an amazing Protoss player in his own right. His list of accomplishments is much longer, and he's been around for a very long time. So we'll see if he can handle this. If he can handle Shinee or not. I see a lot of complaints from people that are like, Protoss can't win TVP, especially if Flash is involved. And I'm not sure if that's a function of Flash or that's a function of the matchup overall. So we'll see if Shinee goes down here to Stork, or if he's able to beat him, which will just add more fodder to the Terran is overpowered fire. You know what I mean? Stoke that fire. Get it going. Anyway, expansion here on the way for Stork. It is about 60% complete, and it's throwing up a factory here. So 1 base opening out of Shinee, which is in fact scouted by this probe of Stork's. Stork knows how to scout. All Protoss players know how to scout. They're the best scouting race, honestly, in my opinion, in the StarCraft universe, both in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, really. I mean, that said, an SCV is trying to scout here from Shinee. He's just not finding anything, which is problematic. Where's your Cyber Core? Can't do much with Zealots against Terran, unless you're doing some very early pressure, and they're going for a quick expansion. Zealots can be very annoying to Terran, but that's not what's happening here at all. We're waiting for a factory before even attempting an expand. If anything else, I mean, we might go for a Starboard before the expansion, which would be really weird. He's got 1 on gas, which tells me he's not going for anything crazy gas heavy, not going for a lot of tanks, probably not going for Wraiths or anything, but it is going to be a Vulture. Vulture, the first thing out of the factory here for Shinee, in the natural base, you're just happily running for Stork. Now, is he going to be able to deal with a Vulture is the question. He is, again, making a Cyber Core, making a Zealot. Zealot actually pins that. Oh, wow, the micro. You might say, but Falcon, 1 Zealot can't hold that ramp. It's much too wide. Absolutely held it against that SCV. That was beautiful stuff. So Dragoon on the way. There's already a Vulture cruising across the map, though. And these Zealots are going to have their work cut out for them for sure. Attempting to wall it up here at the front with a pylon is Stork. 2 Zealots. The thing is, they could be kited endlessly or just run by. I guess they could just be run by, too. And now look at these probes getting pulled off the line here. Actually trying to block the ramp so they can't get inside. Or just running. No, they're just running into the main. Is what's happening. Where's the Dragoon? The Dragoon is out. The Dragoon is ready to go, and now the Vulture is going to get the heck out of there. So he does end up with 2 kills, which is fine. But taking shots from Dragoons, you just can't afford to do that. You cannot kill the Dragoons in a straight-up battle, so might as well just, you know, pull back a little bit here. Maybe get some additional shots off on something. Little dude on the Vulture bike. Look how muscly his arms are. And his helmet is all green too. He's color coordinated, dude. He wore the outfit to match the color of his Vulture bike today. How nice. It is going to be a starport with a control tower here. I'm liking this. I'm liking this out of Shinee. What's he going to do with that, though, is the question of the day. It could... I don't know. I don't want to say Wraiths. Wraiths are okay in certain scenarios. They're just bad in most scenarios. And there's already Dragoons out. Maybe Cloaked Wraith would be interesting. That said, we do have a robotics facility coming up quite nicely for the Protoss player Stork. So he's going to have observers sooner rather than later. But what is this? What is it? Dropship. Okay. So we're just going to drop. Going to drop vultures. It seems like we got the spider mine upgrade. We're working on ion thrusters, going for speed on those guys too. And really, he's just going directly for a mech style, it looks like. He doesn't have additional barracks. That said, that's an academy. Could just be for ComStat, though. We'll keep an eye on that. I like how we're just throwing up spider mines in places that there might be attempted expansions from Stork. Great. Who knows? Who knows where he's going to go? That is an observatory. That is a Citadel of a Dune. So second base up here sooner for Stork, but the natural base is happily running now too from Shinee, and he is going for that ComStat in both of his bases. So fair enough indeed. Is he going to get additional factories? He got the one barracks and the one factory, and this tells us everything. It is a factory. So just going right into the mech now. No bio transition into mech at all for Shinee. It's going to be a Stargate here from Stork after the Citadel of Adun, after the observatory, after the robotics facility where he is making an observer. Additional gateways here too. He's just really ramping up into all the tech, which is something that Protoss can do fairly well, fairly easily. But here comes Vulture Bro. He's just hanging out with his other Vulture guy. He's like, hey man, how's it going? Good. Just waiting for Protoss to come out of this, off this bridge. Yeah, that's kind of a boring assignment. I know, but that's the life, man. That is the life. Actually, there was something somebody was telling me. Nope, that doesn't work. Somebody was telling me there's a way to reset the camera into regular position, like regular zoom position, but none of it's working. Spacebar's not working, backspace isn't working, tab's not working. Now it's time to clear out some creep tumors and some vultures and get them out of our neighborhood, says Stork. Working on a Templar Archives too. Man, this guy is really just teching up to every possible thing. Every possible thing you can make. Yeah, pretty good control here so far. Observer coming out ahead. Taking out these spider mines. It really just slows down the Protoss army more than anything else. Lots of dead probe. Yeah, probe's super dead there. And once again, it just slows down pursuit. You can't chase the vultures if they throw down spider mines right in your face. You know what I mean? Third base is on the way here. There is no gas at this third, so it's kind of a third, like half a third. Same thing for Shinee. He's going for the same deal on the other side of the map. Is that an Arbiter Tribunal? Stork is going for the fastest Arbiter Tribunal I've ever seen on this channel. That is an 8-minute Arbiter Tribunal. That is the most complex tech path for any building in StarCraft, I think, to get to this. You have to have, obviously, the Cyber Core. You got to have the Citadel of the Dune. I believe you have to have the Templar Archives and a Stargate to get to that thing. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to get to it, and he got to it. Fourth base coming up at the south here, too. Double expanding. Effectively, is Stork feeling really confident here. And where are the tanks? I don't see any tanks yet. He's double pumping them. So they're on the way. We got 4. We got 4 of them out. So tank count's looking good. Vulture count looking good. Maybe go for some Goliaths. That is an Arbiter. Arbiter in production at 8 minutes and 45 seconds. That is just so incredibly fast. The recalls are going to be insane. I don't know that Shinee's ready for this, you guys. I'm not convinced he's ready for this. Vulture drop here back in the natural base, trying to stay out of range of that cannon. It's not working out particularly well. Still taking shots to the face, and there's the unload. A couple probes die, but really nothing too insane. Nothing too serious for Stork at all. He's still going for his third and his fourth. He's still triple pumping probes as fast as he Protossly can. Got an observer watching everything that comes out of these factories, which is just going to be tanks, and more tanks. And a fourth base coming up for Shinee at the 12 o'clock position too. So nobody being aggressive at all. This kind of reminds me of the last PvT that I cast, where it was just a lot of build-up. The Protoss player was allowed to do whatever he wanted for the first 15 minutes. I mean, that was Bisu, and then he just stomped the Terran. So I'm wondering if that's what this is. I'm wondering if this is Shinee just really not doing enough damage to slow down the Protoss death ball, allowing him to get those Arbiters up real fast, allowing him to go for stuff like 7 Dragoons at a time, working on upgrades, getting charge, getting Gravitic Booster, faster Observer movement, which is not an upgrade we see a lot. but it can be pretty handy. Observers in decent positions. Check-in for Ninja expands that Shinee might be taking. Dragoons are on a mission. They do have the +1 attack already. Tanks are sitting here with no upgrades yet, but working on that +1 vehicle weapons. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. 3 more factories in production at the same time here for the Terran player. And looking pretty good. Both these players doing all right for themselves. The entire Protoss army is here in this circle, with the exception of an observer. Well, 3 observers that are over here. There it is. That's how you get rid of that top right one. Just like it. I just like how far you can zoom out. I haven't done it in a while. Figured I'd bust it out for a couple seconds. 5th base. Stork is going for a 5th base right now. Yeah, I mean, if Stork loses this thing, it won't be for the fact that he was harassed into losing, that's for sure. He's been allowed to do whatever he wants. He's at 148 supply, 150 supply at 11 minutes, which in Brood War is nuts. That is so, so fast. Ooh, let's see, what are we attacking here? Oh, killing his own bunker? Alright, I guess it's not really necessary with this incredible tank line that's set up. Recall is being researched for the Arbiter. Recall ability here. Dragoons pushing up. They're not going to break this. This tank line is borderline insane. He's got a bit of a wall here with engineering bay and barracks too. I like that setup from Shinee. I really do. More Arbiters in production. Are the Arbiters trying to sneak in? These Browns, I'm keeping an eye on them, but they're not Arbiters. They're definitely observers. Where is our Arbiters? They're probably hanging out back home. There's really no reason for them to be out. That said, I don't know where they are. Yeah. Nope. Observer. I think there were at least 2. Not back in that corner. Ah, here's one. You weren't here before. Maybe it is just the one. There's another one in production now, though. Oh, there's the recall. Oh, there's one up here. Okay, fair enough. So, recalled right on in. Going to take down these tanks. Zealot's doing terrible work here, forcing a full evacuation on Shinee's 12 o'clock 4th base here. A lot of supply depots are going to die. Is this going to supply block Shinee? I think it is. Zealot's running to their des a little bit. We're trying to focus down the supply depots to supply block Shinee. That's a pretty darn fantastic trade. And indeed, there's a pretty serious supply block there, too. Yep, 146 out of 136 available. Not what you want to see. Supply depots gone. Tanks trying to fight in here. Doing pretty well are the Dragoons. They have +2 attack. The tanks are sitting on +1. That's just too much. I just really don't. I don't want to see this. Yeah, this is just a Dragoon massacre right now. They're going to take some tanks with them, which is nice, right? There's another tank that goes down, but I think that's going to be it for them, as all the Dragoons do explode in blue goo. So it's 132 to 134 supply. The bad news for Shinee is that he lost his 4th base, and we're on 5 bases for Bisu, and he can just remax, effectively. It's not a remax, but it's just rebuild an army. Rebuild a pretty threatening army. Leading the way with the Arbiter. No upgrades for those guys, but making 10 Zealots at a time is Stork right now. That was a good recall. It was a pretty darn fantastic recall for sure. I like this soundtrack a lot. This really takes me back to the early days of playing StarCraft, 98, 99. Just the excitement, you know? Just the excitement of booting up Brood War. Well, StarCraft. It wasn't even Brood War at the time, but I first started playing it. And playing through the campaign levels and really sucking at the game and struggling mightily, but still managing to do it somehow anyway. Is he just going to walk in? Yeah, man, these Zealots are just walking in. They got +2 attack. Oh, and the recall over here on these tanks. These Zealots kind of stuck. These got rebuilt real fast, and I'm not sure that Stork was familiar with the fact that these things were done. It is problematic, as these Vultures can sit back here and just evaporate the Zealots. Zealots are stuck, actually. The Dragoons are preventing them from running away. You don't leave the battlefield. You get back in there and you fight. But tanks setting up 4th base looks like it is saved for the time being. But yeah, I really don't. These supply depots, I think, ruin Stork's plans. He's going for a 6th base, you guys. 6 bases while struggling to hold on to his 4th right now with Shinee. This just might be a bit of an overmatch here for Stork. He's just, you know, Stork, I think, is just better at this stage. It's 183 to 175 supply. Sure, Shiny's able to re-macro out of this. Rebuild his supply depots pretty darn quickly, but this is a pretty darn big, scary Protoss army in the middle of the map here. Any further upgrades? Working on armor, which is nice. Working on, what the heck is that? Gadaran Core. Yeah, the plus 50 Arbiter energy. You don't see that a lot, except in longer PVTs, and I think that's where we are officially at this stage. Alright, well, Zealot is not actually, there we go, does trigger the Spider Mine, takes a shot directly to the face, but sets up for a 7th base quite nicely. For Stork, he has the money for it, why the heck not? Why not do it? It's a bit of a tank drop here at the 6th base, trying to take down a Nexus all by their lonesome. Zealot should be able to shut this down pretty easily. They get right up on top there. What are these? Oh, a Vulture run by to this base, but the cannon count is pretty intense. Oh, Spider Mine's just getting laid. Again, that's the utility here of some Vultures. You don't necessarily have to get direct damage done, but if you throw down Spider Mines, it really messes up the Protoss pretty nicely. Oh, but if you die, that's also pretty bad news bears. He's trying to drag these guys into the Spider Mines, and they are clearing out a few of these Zealots. It seems like a pretty good trade. But all the Vultures, I think, are definitely going to die from this position. Or they're hiding. I don't know. Vulture's still running around, throwing down Spider Mines willy-nilly, running into this bit of a roadblock, then turning around and heading the other direction as fast as they can go, which is pretty fast, because they are Vultures, man. They are Vulture bikes. Vulture bike riders. All right, 198 to 192 supply. Shiny's on 4 bases, but he's got a lot of tanks, man. That is +2 attack and +1 armor on those tanks, working on +3, +2. Yeah, man, that's a 7th base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases at the 9 o'clock position for Stork. He just taken this whole bottom section of the map, and there's really nothing. There's just, we don't have the equivalent stuff here from Shinee, and he hasn't really pushed out either. He's maxed out. I don't know what he's worried about if he moves out. Okay, is it time? It's time. All right, so just provoked him into moving out here. We've got Goliaths, which you really want against their Arbiters. And here we go. That is a lot of Zealot, a lot of Dragoon. Got a High Templar in there too, but once you hear the Siege Moan going down, you don't want to attack into this too hard. Never mind, he says. Stork is going right on into this battle. Dragoon's trying to take out all the Vultures. Vultures getting cleaned out quite nicely, but taking a lot of Zealots with them there too. Pretty decent stasis. A Science Vessel gets picked off, and running away from the tanks is Stork. All right, so pretty decent push out there. I mean, it really makes your push slow if you have to slow down and siege up every time the Protoss player pokes you like that, but you kind of have to. If you're not siege, you just straight up die to this little thing. Another stasis, maybe. What is this Arbiter doing? Providing cloak and getting shot at by Goliaths. Another one here, but just consistent sensor sweeps. Able to let the Terran player know where the Protoss army is right now. But again, it's just so much gas income right now. So much gas income for Stork. He's got several running assimilators that are not expired. That one, his natural still has gas, so that's pretty nice. Not even bothering really to get gas. He's got 1,600 gas in the bank. So yeah, he's not even bothering with it. And I'd like to see, there it is. Taking a base on the right side is Shinee. So finally getting a 5th here at the 18-minute mark, which seems late, but is not too shabby. Oh, there's a recall. Where is it? Here it is! Ta-da! Recall at your 4th base again! Surprise! Zealots running on in. Spider-Mine's trying to clear them out, but there are just too many. They're coming in waves. Oh, the friendly fire splash, wiping out those tanks fairly nicely, too. Decent Spider-Mine hits. Man, those Zealots getting cleared absolutely out. So I don't know if that was worth. I'm not convinced that was worth for Stork. And everybody does get cleaned out there. It's 200 to 190 supply, just making 7 Zealots and 7 Dragoons at a time with 2 Arbiters to mix in. No big deal, says Stork. Don't mind me. This base at this this mineral patch without gas has still not been taken by Stork, but I don't think he really cares about it. His bank is looking pretty darn fantastic right now. Is that another, possibly a recall? No, just trying to provide a bit of a cloak for these units. Storming on top of the vultures is pretty good stuff. And, oh, nice stasis on 3 of those tanks along the top side there, too. Reinforcing tanks are rolling on in. Got some Goliaths trying to pick those Arbiters out of the sky. Zealots and Dragoons trying to take down these tanks, but there are Spider Mines to contend with, tanks to contend with, Comsats to contend with. You are not invisible to us, friends. We have Comsat and a lot of dead Dragoons on the ground once again. This is a heavyweight boxing match, you guys. These players are just punching each other in the face as hard as they can and then pulling back to their corners after the round is over. This is just... Stork cannot break this, but Shinee also can't really push out either. This middle area is the Battle of Gettysburg. There's a lot of dead people here, a lot of dead Terran, a lot of dead Protoss. Now we're working on 9 Zealots and 10 Dragoons at a time. Is Stork... Crikey. That said, 8 Vultures and 2 tanks at a time with a Science Vessel is not too bad from Shinee either. APM for these players, well over 200 throughout this game, flirting with 3. And here we go again. Dragoons pushing up. Getting shot at by tanks. Where they're not getting shot at by tanks, they're picking out Spider Mines. Getting rid of Vultures here too. Upgrades by these guys are pretty fantastic. 3-1-1, where the 3 is the attack upgrade. And Arbiter taking some shots here. That, I mean, the Charon Booster upgrade is no joke for distance on those Goliaths. I can tell you that much. Alright, well, there's a bit of a break here. There's a Falcon Paladin store over on Teespring. There's a link in the top right here if you want to check it out. It's pretty much just a Falcon Paladin logo shirt and a pillow. If you're interested in helping to support the channel and all the Brood War content that is put out, then feel free to check it out. Alright, so both players are maxed out. The bank by Shinee is pretty low, only 100 gas there in his bank. This is going to help. This right side base that he took, it is really defending exceptionally well, is pretty fantastic. Pushing up again here is Stork. Trying to storm on those Vultures, but they're pretty good at storm dodging. Man, that's a lot of Dragoons getting picked off here. The unit's lost for both these players. This could be pretty nuts. We're 22 minutes into this game already, and there's really no signs of it stopping at all at any point. There's a probe that wants to take the top left base, but there are annoyingly Spider Mines there. And this is just a slow creep out. Slow creep out here from Shinee. He's got Spider Mines everywhere. He's got tanks everywhere. He's got Vultures everywhere. He has Science Vessels patrolling this area to see if there's a drop coming on in. Maybe some DTs that'd be really annoying. But also, okay, is he just... Okay, he's going to clear out... he's going to throw up cannons and I think clear out these Spider Mines himself. But I'm not sure a Nexus will fit here now with that pylon in that location. Let's see. Oh, there's another recall on the right side. Ah, the brand new base storming those SCVs. Ooh, some decent storms there. And forcing a full evacuation from this location, too. No additional storms to take the SCVs that are fleeing, which is a little bit annoying. But this right base is completely toast. However, the attack by Shinee, he's upset. He's losing a base. He's going for it, man. Tanks set up. Vultures in the front, absorbing the shots. Defensive matrix on one of these Vultures. He does end up getting killed regardless, but look at this. Just so much stuff to get rid of these dudes. The army is split. There's a lot of army on this right side. And suddenly, Shinee's in a pretty darn threatening position. He can threaten this 9 o'clock position base of Storks. This army's like, what do we do? The Zealots and High Templar are a little bit lost right now, but anywhere the tanks are set up, Dragoons can't get in here. Man, just taking down cannons. No big deal. Swinging up to this 8th base that Stork's rolling with right now. Stork, man, what happened? Where's your stuff? Suddenly down to 183 supply. I mean, sure, he's still got army, but when Terran's on your front door, it might be a little bit too late here. Honestly. I don't know where this command center's from. Is this from over here? That command center might be the 4th of Shinee, and it is completely dead. Alright, so stasis on a few of these tanks. There are still several remaining here. Might be time to head on up while the stasis is up on those guys. That was probably as good a stasis as you can ever expect. Any EMPs, have we seen those get tossed down at all? Oh, the recall right on top here. Instantly dying. A lot of those Dragoons, though. Where are the storms? The storms on the Science Vessel. The storms on the tanks. All right. Okay, this is working out for Stork pretty well. He does clear through this invading army, this sieging army, and now he needs to deal with these tanks before they come out of siege, or before they come out of stasis. Vulture completely dead. And here we go, coming out, trying to kill what they can, but that's just too many Zealots and too many Dragoons. And I didn't think he could do it. I mean, sure, he lost his 8th base, which is a problem. He's going to lose this base up. Yeah, see this? I don't think he can build a Nexus here. I think this pylon's in the way. Meanwhile, there's 2 tanks wandering up to wipe this stuff out. We got another push here from Shinee with a lot of Goliaths, and they actually do pretty well head-to-head against Dragoons, especially with a little bit of tank support. Spanning over here, too, is Shinee at this mineral-only location. He hasn't tried to retake his 4th at 3 o'clock, but he's bringing his SCVs to the front to repair against these tanks. He really wants to kill this 9 o'clocker for Stork, and I think he's going to get it. I think this Nexus is going to fall. It does end up going down. Nicely done by Shinee. Maxed out army to a 180 supply here army by Stork. The positioning here and just the patience on display has just been razzmatazz fantastic out of Shinee. I've been super, super impressed. Coming up from the south is Stork. But again, sneak attacks just aren't really possible because you have to get through these minefields to get there, and then Shinee knows exactly where you are. Vultures with +3 attack and insufficient numbers, and 3-3. Mind you, 3 armor too. Can really do pretty well against cannons, especially, like I said, in numbers. Okay, so both players are maxed out. Stork is pushing up to the right side here. He's fairly unopposed right now. That said, there are a lot of tanks defending. I think this is the rally point. This is where Shinee is setting up his tanks before he moves them out. And this makes it really, really hard to break if, you know, if you're this guy, Stork right here. So, again, once again, he needs to get rid of an army that's set up on his front door, and I'm not convinced he can do it. So here goes nothing. Coming from the south to the north. Zealots on top of the Vultures. That's exactly where the Terran player wants them to be, though. Is this enough Dragoons? Defensive Matrix up, stasising the tanks along the left side. This might just be enough Dragoons in relation to the number of tanks on the ground to do it. Oh, but there are more tanks rolling in all the time. Oh, wow. Suddenly it's 152 to 135 supply. That's a lot of dead Dragoon and tanks just setting up a perimeter around that north side. Suddenly 137 supply. Well, actually 137 supply for Shinee, 160 for Stork. So Stork losing that income at the 9 o'clock position, losing the base at the his 8th base too. But he's still running on a lot of bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mining bases right now compared to, what do we got? That's a mineral only, and that is not mining at all. So yeah, starving right now is Shinee. Can he make it work, though, is the question. With the tanks that he has, his production tab is still fairly healthy. He's got a decent bank here, but his income is not super great. I mean, sure, this 12 o'clock position is looking okay. About 400 gas in there before that thing depletes, which is problematic. 7 Dragoons at a time being made right now. By the way, I got this replay off of the Foreign Brood War Discord server. If you want, I'll put a link in the description. You guys can go check it out. It's where a lot of English-speaking Brood War fans hang out. And it's a really great place. They put replays, they put VODs up, they put KSL stuff up there too. If you want to hang out there, then feel free to check it out. The least I can do is plug them for giving me access to this amazing PvT. Actually taking the right side base is Stork. Stork, so cheeky. Such a cheeky play from him. Dragoons fighting in again. Nope, pulling back. Tank count is just infinite right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 tanks, but the recall at the mineral-only income here from, wow, from Shinee is just, he's going to lose that command center. I don't know if we can get up to the 12 o'clock position. This is well entrenched and well set up for sure, but coming from the flank attack, where is the stasis? They are so spread out. Okay, so those three are the ones storming the tanks that the Zealots are going for, which means your Zealots take friendly fire damage. Not exactly what you want to do if you're Stork here, but working out okay. Storming those tanks as well, and dang, tapping out. Tapping out is Shinee, and Stork is your winner in 29 minutes and 26 seconds. Holy smokes. What a play. Yeah, Shinee tried to take this 8th base of Storks, but Zealots were rolling in, Dragoons were rolling in. That wasn't going to happen. He had run out of gas up here. Yep, that's a depleted refinery. He had exactly 3 mineral patches here for less than 200 minerals remaining. So he was starved out. He was done. Stork took too many bases early on. He had too much of a bank. He could afford to trade inefficiently here, and I'm sure if we look at the units lost, it's going to favor the Terran player for sure. But Stork just playing the Zerg style, man. Just get many bases as you can. Throw yourself into the Terran, and eventually you'll be able to break him. Good use of Storm here. Great use of Stasis. I'm sure your Protoss fans will be very, very happy to see that. Every TVP where the Protoss loses, I hear, why didn't they use Storm? Why didn't they use Stasis? And he did. Stork did here, and he got the win. So great job by him. Let's check out that final score. Wow. Yeah, Stork produced fewer units here by about 300 compared to the Terran. Lost 392 of them, but was able to kill 398. So he killed more than he lost, which is a pretty good recipe for a victory. So many structures died in this match too. Both players constructing around 120. Stork raising 41 and Shinee raising 24. And then resources, big part of the story here too. And I mean, this is usually the story in these longer matches. Look, 24,000 to 16,000 gas mined in favor of Stork. 70,000 to 52,000 minerals mined in favor of Stork. 90,000 to 68,000 spent in favor of Stork. Just domination economically. 95,000 to 69,000 total score overall. I'm not sure where this score comes from, how they add this up. It's kind of a relic of the 90s, but it persists to this day. So great job by Stork, able to take down a pretty red-hot Terran and get a win in a pretty tough matchup for Protoss. So good job by you. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.